Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? With your host, the unapologetic diva, Dr. G, the girlfriend therapist, Dr. Cortina Lewis, and the networking extraordinaire, Diana Richardson Philippus. Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? This is Herspiration Happy Hour. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of Herspiration Happy Hour, Season 8. This is episode 12, and this is your unapologetic diva, Dr. G.
This is your networking extraordinaire, Diana Richardson Philippus.
And yours truly, the Culture of Courage, Shay Walker.
And we will have, of course, our resident girlfriend therapist come in a little later. She is doing therapy right now. So we are all busy, but we are all here to make sure that we show up and for you all. And so how has y'all week been thus far?
It's been good. I can't complain. I can't complain. Look, I can't complain. And it wouldn't do no good if I did. So there's that.
Look, red lip, red shirt. Okay.
Right. Well, today was a red day, so red get into that.
Matter of fact, my red is sitting up there. Makes me want to just like throw it on.
And girl, go ahead.
Go for just it. Because, right?
Just because.
Just because.
I am not going to be over here like looking like, let me just hit the red.
And why not? You can do what you want to do. It's Herspiration at happy hour.
That part. with my
mug. Not a red lip, okay?
And the thing is that the red doesn't, once it dries, it doesn't bleed onto anything.
Well, this is actually not the matte. This is the satin. It's not for sale. I took it off the market because it wasn't doing as well as the matte lipstick, but I still have it. Mm-hmm. And I still wear it.
I love it. It's shiny, but I have the matte, and I like it because it stays on and doesn't come off. So because it makes it a really nice red. Shout out Bronze.
Red be red.
Look, shout out Bronze Beauty.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
You were supposed to give me my red when I was there for the conference last week, but hey, a lot was going on. That's fine. I'll be back next week for a whole week. And I plan on, mom is having surgery on her eye. And I'll be there to pick that up. I'll be there you got me for 6 whole days.
Right, well, let's get into it.
I didn't even get all of my stuff since I was traveling, but it's okay.
You're always traveling, and then you don't want to check a bag, and we will not throw that good Bronze Flow Beauty in the trash at the airport. We will not. We will not.
Yeah.
Because they're going to get it. They're going to take it.
They surely are. They're going to be like, this right here. Thank you. Thank you. We've noticed something in your bag. That right there. Thank you. Take that out. And then TSA going to be rocking it. Okay. And TSA
like, y'all, but girl, that look real familiar. That look like it might be mine.
I know. It wouldn't be though. It wouldn't be the my night creams and stuff like that. It would just be the facial washes that are kind of bigger. Because I still
something like that.
Yeah, I don't have time. I don't have time to have any of my stuff thrown away. So it's all good. But you know what? Before we really talk about, and actually, it almost goes into our topic when preparation meets opportunity. We was just before we came on live, we were having a discussion about this massive conversation around the whole child support with Anthony Edwards and him paying 18 years up front. And so we was just having a discussion because our comments are wild. The comments are negative. He's a bad parent. They're slamming him when we're all on here celebrating him for his decision. Well, I don't know about Diana, I was about to say, we're celebrating him and his decision to do this.
But Shay, kick this off. What are your thoughts on this, and why are you celebrating this moment for him?
So, number one, I absolutely, this was number one, a super, super great. And I know we're talking about the baby, so everybody don't crucify me, okay? However, this was the most profound, best business decision that he could have ever made. Number one. Number two, it really gives mom the opportunity to set a solid foundation the right way if she manages it the right way. This also will separate, you know how they always saying boys to men, but it's going to separate girls from women too, because we're going to really see what you was about. What was this really about? Was that baby? Because a lot of times these women, they get pregnant by athletes, and whether it's a thing that just happens, or if it's a thing that's planned, relationships go awry, things don't always work out, and then everybody's coming forward. But there are a lot of women, on the other hand, that do get pregnant intentionally because that's their meal ticket. So this is going to separate all of that, right? She's going to be able to get off to a good start. But I don't feel with this type of decision, number one, he's invested. The fact that he wants to do it forward, that says a lot to me about his character. Number two, this doesn't mean, and I think people are looking at it from the perspective of thinking that he's not going to do anything else. No, give it to her all up front. Anything extra will be my choice. I get to choose what I do extra. I don't think he's going to be the type of man that doesn't do anything else.
He is going to be that type of man. He said that.
So again, we're missing a piece of the whole situation, because was this baby a meal ticket? Was this her ticket? And if she had this baby, let's just say if it was a cold case of she got pregnant and he didn't want a kid. And
he said that. He was very,
and then guess what? So there you have it. So now you're going to force him to be.
The conversations that were being said was that he told her from the beginning he didn't want a kid. He told her from the beginning, he told her to abort it. There was a lot of where they were showing messages between the two, but he was adamant about not wanting anything to do with this child. And so I feel like his attitude towards it and the way that he said some things, I don't think was the most mature. How he handled it with the honesty about where he was at and what he does not want, I think was very mature. He was extremely upfront. And I think both of them had a responsibility as to whether they wanted to be invested in raising a child, co-parenting to, this child. He did not want it. So when it came to child support, and they said, this is how much you're going to have to pay her every month, he wrote that check all up front. But I think that decision had to be legal driven. Somebody was in his ear, or an attorney was in his ear to say, okay, if we pay all this money up front, you can't come back. So if there's an opportunity for him to say, yes, I decide I do want to be in this child's life, I'm sure it's probably, I don't know if it would be open or not, but I think that for a man to just say, you know what, I don't want to be in a child's life. I don't want to be forced, because if you got to force somebody to show up, that's a problem. I would rather you not be forced to be in a child's life, because then there's that animosity and there's that back and forth with a kid. And then there's that animosity towards a kid, and people don't realize the level of abuse and stuff. I'm not saying he's to be abusive, but the level of abuse that takes place when somebody does not want to be a parent. So kudos to him being honest and standing tall on what he said from the very beginning when she first told him she was pregnant.
Well, I have a different take on this, and we can start right where you left off. While I understand that, and I'm not privy of all the information, because I just don't. But I did actually pull it up as we were discussing that this was going to be a topic tonight, and I'm seeing some things. But I would like to say, I get it. Hey, you don't want to be a parent. That's great. Well, it takes two to tango in
Mhm.
order for a baby to be conceived. So unless she poked a hole in a condom, I'm going to be graphic
Yeah.
here. You know, you laid down with this woman, whether you're stating you didn't want to be a father or not. If you laid down with her and had unprotected sex with her, and her becoming pregnant was the outcome of that, well, then you most certainly want to be a father.
I have a
You
question.
want to be, one second. Let me wrap this up real quick because I got a lot. So, I mean, because I didn't know that piece. But when you say that, I'm like, well, it takes two to tango. It really does. And if conception is born out of this act of lovemaking or, oh, I was about to say something different, or getting into, yeah, pretty much,
That's what.
then who are you to tell her that she should get an abortion? I don't condone that. And in terms of him writing this $1 million check, you know, for all the years of the child's life, I don't think that that's anything that's not celebratory to me. That's something that this is your baby, whether you want it or not, whether you want to be involved in this child's life or not. And you should take care of your child financially. And I think that sometimes women who date men in the industry, in a lot of industries, not just athletes, you know, producers, all sorts of, they get a bad rap sometimes as being gold diggers and just being after the money. And I'm not negating by any means that there are not some out there that are there for just that.
Mhm.
I don't negate that, but there are some women who truly are in love with the, you know, because they got game, honey. I done been there. Okay. I don't, that's another story. That was my past life. But they are really in love with these men. So to wrap it up, I don't feel that what he did is celebratory. I really don't. I do pray that, you know, she takes this money and that she does the right thing, you know, for her child. I don't know if this is her only child or not. You know, I don't have all the details as it pertains to this woman. But I just don't feel like he gets any gold stars. You know, no gold
I'm
stars from
celebrating the
Marcus for me.
maturity. I'm celebrating the maturity, not the check, but the maturity of it. The decision that he made, because he could have just been very difficult, saying, you know, with half paying child support, he's not asking for anything other than to not be in that child's life. He doesn't want any part. I've coming from a perspective where child abuse is real, and you know, there are parents who have kids who on accident who end up killing them, who end up abusing
Absolutely.
them. They're in foster care, they're in adoptives, you know, they're being adopted. So the system is not friendly. It's not set up to be kid friendly. So because I know all of that is out there, I feel like any parent that can admit up front that they do not want to be a parent, that is something to, I feel like, a mature level of that should be, not even if I won't even use the term celebrate it, but I do celebrate someone who they're in their honesty, in their truth. And that's what it is. I'm not saying that it's going to be good for the kid, not for the kid, because
Yeah.
you just don't know. There are people who stay married who are in toxic ass relationships, and they stay because of the kids, and then these
Yeah.
kids carry on these toxic ass behaviors, or they mimic these relationships that are not healthy. And so for me, I feel like she has the money, she has an opportunity to give her child a life that is comfortable, um, and more comfortable than most kids.
Well, that's if she knows how to take that money, because $1 million really isn't that much money. If you're not, she needs to learn how to take that and invest it and put a savings, a CD thing so that it can build for her child. That's how the baby is going to get the maximum outcome from that. But again, I have to say that if a person is really, you know, they're standing firm, 10 toes down, I don't want to be a parent, then when it comes down to it, then you should conduct yourself at all times, in all lustful moments. in all intoxicated moments, in that same vein, let's operate in that. If you don't want to be a dad or you don't want to be a mom, that's fine. I get it. But just follow suit, wrap that thing up. Wrap that up.
Shay, you had a question? Shay, why are
Wrap
you
it up.
shaking your head?
I got my pom-poms up for Anthony Edward. I'm still right here. And I'm going to tell you why. Because firsthand, I understand that women are malicious. They can be very malicious. They can be very intentional about their motives when they are grounded in what they see. Like, I've experienced situations where someone has specifically said, you know what, I don't see a future with you. I don't want to be with you. But then you have a baby.
Yeah.
Make that make sense for me.
But
I know.
Anisha?
Hold on. A particular, some women lie about they're deceitful. They lie and say they're on birth control. And, birth control, it's this, it's that, but then you turn up pregnant. Well, you know what? Yes, I absolutely agree. You should wrap it up. As a matter of fact, my opinion is you shouldn't even be having sexual intercourse with anyone that you don't trust. Number one. Number two, if you don't see yourself being in any kind of commitment, life commitment, hey, listen, why am I even going to take my underwear off for you? You've already let me know where you are. Then this is where I am. This ain't for us. And so when you do allow yourself to continue to go forward in your adult behavior, yes, there are consequences that can happen. However, there are still very mature adults that still move forward with their sexual acts under false pretenses, because again, like I've just seen it firsthand happen to really good dudes that get in these entanglements with women that have lied, that have done deceitful things to get pregnant, and then they've said up front, straight up to you that, hey, you know what, I didn't want a kid, I didn't want to be a father, I didn't want to do this, and now you're forcing this on me. And then now they locked in financially, but emotionally they're not present. You can't blame them when they said that they didn't want it in the very beginning. And if that's where he is, he said that's where he is, that's where he stands, he still remains right there. That's not to say that when we get older, and we start to embrace our spiritual journey, God starts to correct us in love. Who's to say what that's going to look like in the future? But the fact of the matter is, he stood on business when it came to him, his boundary, what he wanted for his life, and you still made a decision. So now you've selfishly made a decision to force somebody else into something that you're the only one that wanted that. So now you got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. You got the check, because that's what it sounds like to me. If somebody straight up says that, hey, you know what, I don't want a baby, I don't want to be a father, and I definitely don't want to, that's not just a father to the baby. That's saying I don't want to be committed and connected to you for the rest of my life also. But see, we don't want to hear that part. We want to think that we can change people, and you just can't. You can't force somebody into something that they don't want to be a part of, thinking that you're going to persuade, oh, you know what, his feelings have changed, he'll fall in love with the baby at first sight. No, if I said this is not what I was ready for, respect what I'm saying. Now, if you choose to continue to go this journey, you've decided that independent of me. And in that case, let me write you this check and get on the hell up out my face. And that's where we at. And that's where he is.
Well, I feel, honestly, I just think that we're passing judgment on a woman that we really don't know. And we also need to be cognizant of the fact that he has 2 other paternity cases going on. So it's very clear that he has issues with having unprotected sex for someone who doesn't want to be a father. So to me, and this is just my personal opinion, I don't have, I don't have a dog in fight with this. I really don't. I don't know him and I don't know her, and I don't know, what, if there were any motives behind her. But what I do know is that there is a child that has been conceived. And I do know that just because she got pregnant, I can see both sides of the coin, right? I really can. But as a woman, my first inclination is, okay, we laid down, we had sex, we had a good time, apparently. And now I'm pregnant. And you're, nope, I don't want to be a father. But what if she really wanted a baby? What if she couldn't have a baby and then here it is that she's pregnant?
Well, good
That's
for
a
her.
life.
But that's
You
good.
know, that's a life that we're talking about. I don't think lives are just disposable, whether a man wants to be in the child's life or not. That's a life that we're talking about. So great, you know, he wrote a check. You know, that's great. She has her baby and he has a son or a daughter, regardless of whether he wants to be a father or not. He has a life in this world right now.
Yeah, you
He
know
has
what?
a life in the world. And
You
he's
know,
going to have to reconcile that at some point in time on
yes,
his
yeah.
journey.
But you
She
know what?
will too, though. But
You
she
both of
will
them will.
too. You have to
Okay.
be accountable for at the end of the day. Again, I'm gonna stay where I am when it comes to us women and our boundaries, because like you, I can see both sides of the coin, but I'm going to sit right here and hold her accountable for whatever the outcome is. And I'm going to tell you why. Because number one, we all have a choice to make. We have decisions to make. And when you choose to continue, what you choose is a reflection of of your boundary. If you allowed yourself to think in your mind that you have the power to persuade a different outcome when you already see things for what they are, you have to hold yourself accountable. Yes, the child still suffers, absolutely, but guess what? Suffering under your account, not his, because you still made a decision to bring that baby here. You know what? Forget that. Conceive. How did you protect yourself? You chose to do this. Did you really truly analyze the character of the gentleman that you decided to lay with? People will only do what we allow. So I'm going to go right back to accountability for her. This is why I'm still staying in a posture of celebration. He didn't opt out of taking care of the baby. He didn't try to fight it. He didn't even try to defend it. He said, okay, this is my outcome. Boom, here you go. I don't want anything to do with it. Well, guess what? Let's put her right back into the seat of accountability. Yes, everything that's going to happen forward, that baby it's going to be a reflection of the baby. That mama could grow up and be angry. That baby could be raised in a situation, in a household where every time she look at the baby, you remind me of you look just like, you don't know what the situation is going to be. But guess what? She's got to account for that because she made a decision.
So the other thing is, let's I know everybody keeps saying that the child is going to suffer. The child will suffer even more so being around a parent who does not want them. That's real suffering for a child. Here's why you have so many children in foster care. But do you know the other flip side of that? Let me tell you what the flip side of that. This is and why the child won't suffer. Because if the mother is a great mom and she meets a great ass man who steps into the life of this child, because you look at, and here's a good example. You look at Russell Wilson with Little Future.
Yep.
So I'm not passing any kind of judgment. I'm not even being judgmental with this situation. I am celebrating the fact that a grown man said, I'm going to be invested, not emotionally, not physically, in this child's life. Well, I say thank you for opening up the door for someone that's going to come in and is going to be a role model for that child, because they're going to fall in love with this child. Yes. Especially if the mom opens the door, because now she's kind of set. But yeah, $1 million is not a lot of money, but that's his portion. So now her contribution to whatever else this child needs, that's going to be her accountability. Yeah. And also at this point, how she's going to be able to emotionally take care of this kid. The other side is that if the other parent or someone else comes in and say, you know what, I want to adopt this child support's already done, because normally child support stops when when someone else adopts this child, whoever the mom, let's say, marries after this. Child support would have stopped for him. But he's already written a check for it. So no matter how she moves at this point of her life, she can move on and find the love of her life that's going to not only take care of her, but emotional well-being, not just financial, but I'm saying emotionally can take care of this child. So
hopefully he'll still be mature and write a couple more checks on these paternity tests. I'm sure they come back favorable that he is the father.
I mean,
and then hopefully he will wrap it up. And I don't know if, if the women are saying they're on birth control, but I mean, if you don't want to be a dad, I wouldn't trust that.
there are a lot of people. Here's the other part. Here's another realism. A sperm donor is a sperm donor. There are women who want children and go to the sperm bank. Those men are liable, but they're donating sperm because they don't want to be parents. That's all he really did, except for he wrote a check for it. Tell me what's the difference? What's the difference in a woman going to a sperm bank, getting sperm from 100 different men who's donated, who did not want to be in these children's lives, but they're not held financially responsible, but nobody's saying you have to be in that child's life. They just giving up sperm. So this is exactly what he did. He was a sperm donor. That's how I see it. And now this is an opportunity for her to just be like, you know what? I'm going to have this baby on my own. I'm going to raise this baby on my own. He's contributed financially, and I'm going to go on about my life. So
are there any word about it? Have you read anything about what she's saying? Because
look at this. Diana, you just said something very profound that I did not know. The other 2 paternity cases, guess what? If they're out there and you can find them, so could she.
Okay.
You still made a choice when it came to character.
Okay.
And that's why I said accountability.
About that. I'm just speaking in terms of what happened, and there's accountability to be had,
for
not just
parts,
on her, on both parts.
Yes.
On
you
both
just
parts.
found 2 pending paternity cases. You can't tell me sis and Sim. You cannot tell me that sis and I see that this is the type of
I don't know what she saw because I don't know her. I don't know her.
So if you found it, guess what? Know she did her
research. It came up under the child support.
Exactly. Don't you know? Listen, what do we do? What are we known for? Women in general. Honey, we gonna go look you up. We gonna find out something. Yeah. We gonna find out. We're going to the person that you allow yourself to become, you become liking with, you start to be courted and you embrace courtship. Guess what we doing? What's your last name? Who your people? Where you come from? Let me look at your social media. Who the girl you was with last week? Don't think you can't tell me, because that's just the generation that's where we are in the world right now. So we're going to look out. She saw that.
She may very well had, but I mean, you're sticking with what you feel, and I'm certainly sticking with what I feel.
And it's okay.
I feel that what happened, but at the end of the day, she became pregnant, and I don't believe that she should have been forced to get an abortion if he did not want to.
Yeah.
Just because he didn't want to be a father. It's a life, and life is precious.
His choice cost him. You know what men say? What bothers men the most? What can get to a man? His money. And we know that, at least that's what I've heard growing up. You know what? You gonna get if you really want to cause a man a really easygoing, a really cool kind of brother, mess with his money. Mess with his money. So every time he decides, because don't think he's not being held accountable, it just cost him another $1 million and potentially $3 million, because he got 2 other pending cases out there. So every time he makes a decision to do something like this, it cost him.
Yeah.
So he's feeling it too. Don't think he's not. However, is that going to be enough to make him become accountable the way he needs to?
We don't know.
We don't know. What I am saying, and this is why, I love empowering women. I want you to understand that the results you get, you have to reflect on your inward self, because it's not people's fault that things are happening to you. You have to account for how you're showing up. Accept accountability for your actions.
But are we to say that she's not?
That whole, hey, that little thing that you better get her under control. You better know how to keep her quiet. You can go have a good dinner and go home.
But my thing is this, but I think that, and I get what you're saying. I truly do. But I also feel like we're passing a lot of judgment on a woman we don't even know.
I'm not passing judgment on anyone.
We don't know her story. I think that people look at what perceives to be, and I don't want to call her an Instagram model, I don't know anything about her. I know what her picture, I've just saw her picture, but I think that there should be no judgment because we don't know what happened. We don't. The only thing that we know is that she's pregnant. We don't know we don't know what was going on with them prior to her getting pregnant. We don't know. We know, okay, you said there was a text message, she got pregnant. Oh, I don't want to be a dad. Okay, well, I'm pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pregnant.
I'm not passing judgment on her. I ain't even thinking about her. I'm just thinking overall when, the fact that I'm looking at from a kid's point of view, really, honestly, that's where I'm looking at. And that's the only thing, like I said, I can celebrate the fact that, this man is not going to be some half-ass forced father. I don't agree with that. I had a great man that raised me, I'm a daddy's girl, and he was not my biological father, but I'm his daughter. So to me, it's not, he was nothing more than a sperm donor. And so I celebrate the fact that he was honest. He was honest to a fault about not wanting any kids. Step the fuck away and let someone else come in and nurture and give love to that child. That's what I'm saying. So that's my thing. I'm not looking at it. I'm not passing judgment on him. I'm not passing judgment on her. I don't care if he has to pay $5 million. I'm saying, don't force a man to show up, because the other part is.
But is she trying to?
No, I don't know. But I'm saying that people, I'm looking at the comments and people are saying he's going to pay for it in the long run. He's going to do this. To me, I would want someone to be honest about where they're at instead of me having to fight you for it to show up for your child. You can pay all the money in the world, but presence does more. But so if you don't want to be present and you're going to be, because you got basketball and you have all of these other priorities because you did not want to be a parent, it's like, why would I want that kind of stress? Why would I want to show my child that kind of stress? It's a lot easier for me to act like I got a sperm donor, I have money now, and I'm going to go and make sure that my child grows up in a very happy. If it comes to a point where we're going to have this conversation, because this shit is live, kids are eventually, this child is going to be online. They're going to be able to read. And guess what? This is what's going to come up. So, but in the interim, if you give that child a safe space to thrive and grow up happy, then to me, that creates an extremely productive citizen in this society. That's what matters to me. I don't care about people laying down 50,000 times, getting other 50,000 women pregnant. I just want you to be accountable for your actions. And if you don't want it, and you saying it's easier to pay for it than pay it instead of showing up present, then I'm all for it. Because I mean, people who have parents who don't want them around. They don't want them around. They end up with the grandparents. They end up with nannies. They end up with all kinds of people, and they still don't have that parent in their life. And so I admire his honesty through this entire thing. I think tactfully, it was very tacky, but he stood his ground. He kept that boundary, saying, I do not want to be a parent. And so to me, that's what I celebrate, not her not having an abortion, not her character, not anything. It's just when we look at the child in and of itself, it would grow up a lot healthier in a healthier environment, not one that's have animosity between two people, one person who doesn't want to co-parent and another one that's forcing it. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work out for the mentality of a child.
And in this category, like in this particular conversation, this is a loaded conversation because there are so many. This is one of those cases that we can sit here and pick this apart in a whole 360, right? So there's two parts, two major components: the sex and accountability part, and then
I got something good.
Oh,
Go
shit!
The sex and the sex and accountability part when it comes to man and woman, but then the other part, the compassion for the child. Let's not forget something. God takes care of babies and fools. Period.
Oh, get out my head because I
That
was
part.
going to say.
So God takes care of babies and fools.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
what you have in this situation, like let's break it down because y'all know I'm a ghost spirit. Okay,
Yeah.
let me pull myself out the flesh and start talking about y'all ain't had no business having sex, and she sure ain't had no business laying down with that boy knowing that he ain't want no kids and he was irresponsible. So let me come over here to the spirit. Let's go to the spirit. God takes care of babies and fools. Guess what? There's babies and there's two fools in this situation. All right. Yeah. And bottom line, and there is no sugarcoating that because you both were foolish. You made a foolish decision. Okay. You were irresponsible, period. And now we have a baby. God gonna take care of all three of them the way he sees fit. She is going to be well. That baby is going to be well.
Amen.
And so is he, because the thing about God, he'll lead a 99 to come get the one. So don't think for 1 minute that this baby is going to go unfathered, because she won't, whether it be her biological father or it be her spirit sent father. Either way, she's covered by the blood of Jesus. Okay. So, I'm not judging. I'm simply saying we as adults have to start being more responsible and accountable for our actions and stop looking to point the finger. Everybody has an opinion about the situation, and I'm gonna still sit where I'm sitting. I'm glad he wanted to pay it forward, even if he was just being cocky and arrogant and egotistical, right? I'm glad that he wrote the check because, again, good for you. Thank you for setting her up to be able to set a solid foundation for that baby. Now, Miss Ma'am, I do pray that you use wisdom and discernment so that you can properly put things in place so that you can see to it that that baby does not lack and go without. Okay. Now, if I turn around and hear later, then I'm going to be sitting over here like,
Well, apparently,
I'm not judging.
he
just
is a father. He is a dad. He does have children. I just read that, and he just welcomed a new baby in March 2024.
So he's sick of babies. He's sick of
with his current girlfriend, that apparently he was cheating on his girlfriend.
See what I'm saying?
More than a couple times, because he got a new baby that just came 1 month old and 2 more paternity cases going on. So let's send the prayer warriors out to his current girlfriend with their new baby. I mean, because that stress level must be high. Okay, I'm gonna leave it right there.
So now y'all want me to go back where I was, because just like you just found it, she saw it too. Okay.
I don't know what she saw at that. This is a whole story. This was her story that I'm looking at, and then it got into him. I thought he was just fatherless. He was not fatherless, but he didn't have no children. But he has children. He got some children.
He didn't want that one. He didn't want a child with.
He didn't want that one, or I guess the 2 other ones that potentially, allegations. Anyway, okay.
And we don't know who we dealing with. Come on, man. Come on.
I mean, hey, it is what it is. He need to put something on it.
And if you got a girlfriend, and they need to stop letting him put it in them.
Say what? What you say?
They need to stop letting him put it in them. Because see, again, empowered women empower. Baby, stop laying down with the. Come on, stop it. Stop yourself.
I empower women empower all day and twice.
Right, empower women empower, and I'm here to empower and accountability. Keep your panties on.
They know what's stand up for themselves where they are. Where they are.
What's the man name who's singing "Help Me Find My Drawers"? Y'all know that song? It's a song. Somebody help me find my drawers. Y'all don't know the song?
No, I don't know the song. Help me find my
drawers. Help me find my drawers. I need for these women to keep their drawers on. I need for y'all to keep.
And I need for these men to keep their wangers inside of their pants.
If they don't have nowhere to arrive, they can't take them off.
I cannot.
Put your wanger away.
Well, look, what's some other ways that preparation meets opportunity? Because Lord have mercy, this is like we already saw where that preparation met an opportunity. Not in the best way, but I'm just saying.
I'm not claiming that was opportunity. I don't know Miss Aisha. I'm gonna stay in that vein. I'm not gonna pass no judgment on that woman because I don't know. I don't know her. I don't know her character.
Well, you know what? So my thing is, it depends on how you look at it. I feel like it was an opportunity for her, not in a negative way. If because I go back to some women who wanted kids, and it might have been a struggle. That opportunity gave her a baby. God don't make mistakes when it comes to
Come
things
on.
within your life. I'm
Come
just saying that it became an opportunity for her to have the baby that she wanted, no matter who it was from. That's all I'm saying. So I do feel like whatever preparation was done there it was an opportunity to birth
become a mother.
what God meant to become, to come onto this earth.
Amen. And one more time.
I'm not gonna do it with you and this
He
fan.
the same man that seen Help Me Find My Drawers.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Girl, I'm not. I'm done.
Who is that? I don't even know who
His
it is.
name
I just
is
know the song.
Tonio something.
I'm determined to learn that boots on the ground dance. I'm determined. By the end of this summer, I'm gonna learn how to do it.
When preparation meets opportunity, go and prepare so you can have that opportunity to learn boots on the ground.
Can somebody come teach me? Anybody watching, can you send me a video tutorial, please?
Girl, you can look that up on YouTube University.
Right. And practice right there in your office.
Yeah, in your office.
I've learned a lot of dances on YouTube University or TikTok University. Yeah.
All I know
they
is
teach you
that
in slow motion. Yeah.
they do it in slow. They have it in slow motion?
Yeah. So you can keep up with it.
We're gonna learn it when we go to Puerto Rico.
They ain't doing the boots on the ground in Puerto
I
Rico.
didn't say that. Where we have our own space, we got a whole condo. We can be
boots on the ground ourselves
and learn how to do boots on the ground together.
Yeah, let's do that because I need to learn that. Like, I stay up on line dances. I'm pretty good with that. And this one is not working out for me.
I think if it start involving a whole lot of fancy foot moves, yeah, I don't know.
It just, I don't know. It's something about that back step that I'm like, I don't get it.
Let me send it to you in slow motion because I've been learning it too. So hold on.
Put it in our group. Put it in our group chat so I can look it up too. I probably am not going to have time to learn it until we get to Puerto Rico, but I'm just saying.
Hey.
Which I'm looking forward to. Oh, I need a break.
I am too.
March was very unkind to me.
I
was so happy when April came in. I'm just like, April just got to be better. It's got to be.
And it is, claim it in the name of Jesus.
Oh yeah, I'm already.
Already,
I've already claimed it. I'm telling you, I also entered April a little bit different. Where I have been talking about making preparations, I have been making significant preparation and sowing many, many seeds for it already. And I'm only 2 days in. I just been out. So I'm looking forward to the outcome once I'm done with all my preparations. I'm making tough decisions. I am being very strategic. And I'm just like, I am realigning and setting myself up, for the opportunities that I know are coming. So it's, I'm looking forward to see what April brings.
Well, I always say, when I think about when preparation meets opportunity, when you're constantly preparing, you're learning, you're keeping yourself in a state of evolution, right? Then when the opportunity comes, you're already ready.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, I'm always teaching and constantly preaching, continue to learn, prepare yourself, build that bridge before you even see it. Because when the opportunity comes, you are ready. Y'all know me. I'm always in preparation mode, always, because I know you may not be able to see it, right? That's where faith comes in. But when you prepare for it, Well, I'm just going to end it with, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Okay. So stay ready, people. Stay ready.
I've been able to identify that when I have seasons of solitude, the next
Mm,
season is my, and
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
exactly what's happened. I feel like I've been in a season of solitude for at least, I feel like it was a little extended this time, at least in my opinion, but I knew that God was just going to flood the gates, like, and that's exactly what happened. I feel like I was in that season for probably maybe about 6 or 7 months this particular time. And there is so much growth that happened, like so many things that I became equipped with. Like he really sharpened me
Yeah.
in this season. And so I didn't even know that this was going to be the season that he just accelerated me. But that's exactly what's happened. And so, you know how they say God will prepare a table for you, right?
Mm,
And so he's given me a feast already, and I'm only on day 2 of April. He started that thing out strong, and
come on.
it's going to be fantabulous.
Oh,
I've been waking up just feeling real ignited and on fire about things. My creativity is, it's on full blast. My discernment is super heightened. And I've just been excited to get up first thing in the morning so that I can, do my Bible study and do my meditation and write and journal and all those things, because now it's just flowing like free water, man. It's been feeling real, real good. So I've started off strong. I know earlier, Pam, you said, how was the day? Like, how has it been? Man, I have been feeling good. Okay. I feel
love
good.
that.
I feel
I
good.
love that.
Yeah.
But there's something to be said about what, seasons of silence, right? Or seasons of what some people may call it, or they feel like it's isolation. But Shay, you're spot on. That's when God is really dealing with you. And that's when you're able to really tune out the noise, because you can't strategize. You can't hear
When
with
you're distracted.
constant noise. You really have to go in deep and really you have to be by yourself. I tell people all the time, you build in silence. You don't build with all this, right? You have to build in silence. You have to learn how to be quiet, tune in, and then show up and show out. You don't have to tell people nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I you don't know. I have this. It's so often, and it frustrates me sometimes, because everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this." Well, guess what? It isn't about what you're going to do. Just do it. Just do it. Like Nike. Just do it. Build it and then do it.
Mm-hmm.
You build in silence and then you let the world see.
Oh, yeah.
Put a date on it. My advice to everybody today would be put a date on it.
Absolutely.
Put a date
Also,
it. Put a date on it.
It's beyond the preparation. I think preparation is just the first step. Doing the work after
Mm-hmm.
you make that, because you can prepare everything. Like if you was cooking in the kitchen and you did all the prep work, it's not going to cook itself. And so, I have been cooking essentially. So I made a lot of preparations. I made a lot of decisions. I had a lot of stuff written down of researching and all of that. And so now I'm putting action to my plan. So that way, or again, so I've prepared, but now I'm sowing the seeds, because I know the outcome is going to be significantly greater. But it takes the work. And I'm telling you, the work is hard. And that's the work, like you said, Diana, you have to do on your own. Not everybody is meant to go with you on that journey. Not everybody is meant to understand that journey.
Amen.
Not for everybody to understand, but that discernment inside is making those very tough decisions that have to be made. And in order to get to the other side, you have to be obedient in those decisions that come to you.
Come on.
Yeah.
I think obedience is key. And, and I love what you said, about action, because you always have to execute. That there's nothing that can come about without execution.
Yeah. Oh, that part. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
You judge a tree by the fruit it bears.
Come
I mean, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So it's significantly important that whenever you have a vision for something, the vision will always stay a vision until you do the work.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't just hop right in. There's always that long preparation, or short, depending on what your goals are.
I was getting ready to say, it just depends on what God has for you, because
Oh, yeah.
sometimes once you get the vision and you begin to prepare, it manifests itself rather quickly. I've been on both sides of that coin, where he had sat me down for a minute, like, no, let's prepare you, sit down. See, I know you want to go, Diane. I know you do, but you're gonna sit down, you're gonna wait.
Mhm.
And then there's times where it comes, I'm like, oh, okay, do this, boom, and that's it. There it is.
Yeah.
So, but you just got to stay ready. You have to stay obedient, and you have to have a discerning ear.
Yeah, and there's no
And
shortcuts.
there is definitely no
Shortcuts.
We're not manifesting
I shifted in my chair on that one.
microwave dinners. No, ma'am. None of that.
There's no shortcuts. And I tell you, what happens when you take shortcuts is that it costs you more in the long run, because you're still going to have to go back and look at it. I think I've been taking the long road for the longest. And so just even learning through those experiences make you even greater. I mean, and I equate it to like when I was adjuncting, and I was telling my class when we was doing a project, I said, if you look at a lot of your phone, you think about your iPhone, how many updates do you have to have all the time? That's because there are refining things and refining things and refining things, because there's no perfection in technology. There's no perfection in anything that you're going to do. But it doesn't mean, they're not saying, well, you know what, we're just going to throw the whole phone away. No, we are going to make updates to make corrections to different things. It's a pain in the ass sometimes. However, Apple is not going away because of some ineffectiveness in their product. They are, right while you have it in your hand, they're saying, hey, we're going to make this better. It's like, we apologize for it, so here's how we, what we can do. And so we have to look at that as business owners, is that as we are in business, we're going to have to sometimes make changes based off of the need of our clients and feedback from our clients. If without it, we don't grow, we don't get better, we don't learn how to pivot, we can't become more efficient until we actually utilize and evaluate what could be fixed.
Well, I think that is true. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, this will be quick. You're always in a state of learning, and you're always having to revamp in business. You can't just create one model and think that this is going to sustain you for the longevity of your business. I mean, if we're speaking to entrepreneurs or anyone, I mean, in life in general. Mm-hmm. Let me just say that in life in general, you're always wanting to continue to learn, grow, and evolve. That goes for personal and certainly for business. You have to make sure that you are producing at the highest level, and that you are, like you said, Pam, understanding what it is that your audience, whether it's a product or a service, whatever it is that you're doing, you have to be cognizant of the trends, what your customer base is needing, and you have to shift and adjust constantly to maintain that.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I 100% agree. But that's where, preparation is a continuum.
Oh yeah.
Life, you're always going to be preparing for something. Whether you are learning a new job, a new skill, a new language, buying a car, buying a house, there's always going to be that preparation that comes along with it. And, and to me, preparation only sets you up better for opportunities, no matter what. So
look, all of that, aka wisdom. That's exactly what that is. To sum it all up in one word, that's wisdom. That's the exact, that's a beautiful analogy to give to people that are on their spiritual journey. Like, that's exactly what it looks like. Love corrects. And so every time you do something, It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Nothing beats a failure but a try. You keep trying. You keep trying.
Girl, come on. Well,
And you're learning. And that's the thing. I think people cap themselves when they decide that, you know what, I don't want to learn anymore. That's when everything stops. So you have to remain open to learning more things and doing more things. It doesn't matter about your age. Like I was reading something, what was that last week, when it highlighted all of these people that had done invented all these things and the ages that they were when things actually manifested. They had worked on it for so many years, but they were 45 when this came about, and they were 52 when this came about. And it was like it spoke about one of the high-end designers. He was 63 before his line even became a thing. Like he had been working on this thing for years, and then boom, 63, it manifests, right? The problem, I think I posted something about this maybe a couple of weeks ago about this microwave lifestyle. You want things so quickly, but it's going to be very short-lived. Be okay with the process. Be okay with the ineffectiveness, the things that you learn. It doesn't have to be perfect, but continue to perfect it. Work at it, and never stop working at it. That's
the key.
That's never stop.
That's
Don't
the
throw it
key.
away. Don't become discouraged just because you think, God gave you this vision, but he didn't promise you that you were going to become a billionaire overnight.
He didn't promise you the road was going to be easy.
Right.
He gave it to you, and you got to work. You got to work.
Let me tell you the other thing that I will say. We're almost at the top of the hour. I think no matter what you do and what you prepare for and what opportunities come, not all opportunities are meant to be lifelong. Sometimes you have to learn how to let some things go in order to get to where you need to be next. And that's so hard. I mean, sometimes people feel like, this failed, so now it's like, woe is me. No, that failure is a setup for another opportunity, because sometimes failing is the only way that we know how to let go. But there's so much shame around things not happening the way that you thought it would. But on the other side of that is a hell of a win. And so you have to be comfortable letting go of something, because if you keep working at it, and it's not working, that's probably not where you're supposed to be working on. And you have to sit, like you say, Shay, silent for a minute, so that whatever is meant to come from it, because it's something that's in there for you to have learned, you just held on to it for too long. And so once you sit quietly and you start to listen to it, on the other side is that win, and whatever it was that you were supposed to that was the real opportunity. What you were working on was that preparation. You just didn't know it because you felt like I was doing all this work. No, sometimes preparation is work. Preparation is full of work.
That's the power of the pivot. That's the power of the pivot.
Exactly.
And you have to lean into the pivot. Don't fight the pivot. Don't fight it. You know it when you don't fight the pivot. Because go on with it. Go on with. You have to know when it's time.
Yeah. Every idea is not yours either. Every idea is not yours. You can, just because, like, I'm a visionary. God gives me a lot of things. And I've got journals out of the wazoo with so many business ideas. What one of my counselors told me years ago, she said, you know that every idea is not yours. You told God that you wanted to become an angel investor. You're able to discern good business ideas and also help them strategize, right? So every idea is not for you. He's equipping you with all of these things. So when he sends the people, you can boom, pivot. Hey, let me run this by you. Have you ever thought about this? Every idea is not yours. So stop coveting the things that God gives you, because it's not always for you. It's for other people. He'll give you that one special thing, but then the many things that come along with the one special gift he gives you, don't covet. Be open and willing to say, hey, you know what? I think you'd be great at this. I think you'd be great at this. Stop coveting the blessings. Like, release it.
Amen.
Release it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, we're at the top of the hour, so we're gonna release this episode. Oh my God. But it was such good conversation. Always like that hour goes by so quickly. But
It
you know
does.
what? Coach, let me tell you something.
Hmm.
When we talk about like a real happy hour. I mean, and granted, it's a happy hour. We're like, oh, we're gonna go out to happy hour. Happy hour really is never an hour. So
Yeah.
it's always more than that. And the conversations are all, and the deeper the conversations, like the longer. Next, it's not even happy hour anymore, and you're paying
That part.
real costs for the drinks now and the food. But it's okay because the conversations are so enriching, and so that's what this platform does. It does for me, and it's always educational, even for me. Just hearing from all of you ladies. So, Shay, where can everybody find you at, and promote yourself? You have some stuff I saw online going on. Where can people find you and connect with you and share what you have going on?
Absolutely, I shall, because I'm super excited. First and foremost, you can find me on Instagram at The Culture of Courage, and you can always visit my website, www.thecultureofcourage. Meanwhile, we have some exciting things coming up July 26th. It's called Elevate Her. It is... the platform is Divinely Restored by Shaquila Matthews. She is the founder. And so this is called Elevate Her, Lace Up and Level Up. You are going to wear pink and sneaks. Okay. All right. And so we are going to come in and do some empowering just interactions, help people evolve spiritually. Grow
Amen.
beyond their traumas. Like, it's just, we're just going to continue to let the empowerment grow, just flow over.
Yes.
It's going to be super exciting, though. It's going to be super fun. I'm super excited to see everybody in their pinks and sneakers. And so, yes, that will be July 26th. That is a Saturday. It's going to be held in Conyers, Georgia from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can get all the information from my Instagram page also. And Pam, Shaquila, so I know you wouldn't have a problem with me just shouting her out. I'm super excited.
She's so amazing.
Right. She is such a powerhouse. And so I'm super excited to be joining her on this event.
I know she sent me the invitation, and unfortunately I had to tell her, I already have an engagement. I will be in Philly.
Okay.
With Diana. So
we got a big
shout
out to the Johnsons and the Wrights. We have a big family thing that goes on in Philadelphia during the summer. But because Conyers is like boop right there for me. But I know it's gonna be amazing. I'm excited. That name Shaquila did you have her on here one time?
No, she was actually at one of the events, the Evening with Author events. She was the one with the dreads. Me and her was dancing and all that when the first year, we had such an amazing time. Yeah. So she's great energy.
She had them pent up a little like okay. Yes.
Amazing woman. I definitely will be sharing it. Let me know. I'll share it on my social media.
Absolutely.
I'm able to attend because I have a prior engagement, but I did let her know. So I definitely would love to make sure that people do, come out and support you and support.
It's gonna be amazing. Yeah. I know it is. I'm mad. Pink and sneakers. I
looked at my calendar. I was like, damn, I'm gonna be in Philly. So
as soon as she said July 26th, I was over here like,
I know. Yep. Diana, where can everybody find you at? Do you have anything going on that you would like to shout out?
Well, actually, I do. Well, I'm not going to release everything, but I'm going to release one because it drops this weekend. So I'm going to give everybody a pre-plug. Just understand that. But one, you can reach me at Diana Richardson Philippus on Instagram. And you can also reach me at DianaRichardsonPhilippus.com. We are officially dropping our Empower Her retreat, which is going to be October 9th through the 12th, y'all. And we taking it to Grenada. Get into it. Yes, Pam, I had to go back. I was like, you know what?
And I'm not even available then. I'm pissed. My calendar.
Is that the red carpet one? Is one? Okay.
No,
Well, you guys, the
we have to see
retreat is
about
going
moving
down.
things around. I have, let me see if I can move something around, but I love Grenada. So
Girl,
I
get
love
into
Grenada,
it.
honeymoon there. So I would love to go back.
Yes,
But
it's going to
okay.
be amazing. It is going to be amazing. And stay tuned. We got some other things coming down the pipeline.
Okay. And did you say where everybody can find you at already?
Yes, you can find me at Diana Richardson Philippus on Instagram and Facebook, as well as DianaRichardsonPhilippus.com.
Okay. You can find me on all social media at IAMDRPGURLEY. I am Dr. P. Gurley. I have a few things going on. Of course, I have the Kids Red Carpet that's going to be coming up June 21st in Fayetteville. That's the first one kicking off. On April 22nd, I have a virtual training for building authentic brands, the intersection of business and personal marketing. Y'all got some powerhouse speakers. Diana is on there, Tyrell Player, Tammy Reese, who's not only a phenomenal journalist, but she's also does PR, public relations. So yeah, this is going to be some really great conversation. It's virtual. It's only $15, y'all.
Yeah.
Come
Get
out
into that. Come get these nuggets.
and get some super nuggets. And I'm also going to be on a great platform. So it's going to look like the virtual space literally looks like it looks like a theater. So I'm testing out I'm testing out a new platform for virtual. And so this is the first time that I'm housing it on there. Shout out to Marcus Hill, who put these things together. And it will also, anyone who afterwards would like to host their events in the same level virtual space or build your own virtual space with your own brand, he would definitely be the person to talk to. So it's going to be great all the way around. So definitely for $15, you can come and get these nuggets, because what people fail to realize is a lot of times your business is connected to who you are as a person. So why not look at how you can brand and make yourself better? So that's going to be going on. Again, it's virtual April 22nd from 7 to 8:30 p.m. And that's all I really have. And of course, we always thank you for joining us and tuning in and after the fact and downloading and going back and playing and sharing. I'm loving all of the feedback that I'm getting after each episode, where people are saying they love it and love it and love it even more so. So we appreciate it. Diana, you wanted to say something really quick?
No, I was getting ready to start talking like we offline, and
we're not offline yet, but just pause. Okay, y'all. So the last time y'all caught some of our after show.
so we just go in. We just went in like what? We was still live.
Still live. Just talking. So we'll be here same time, same place next week. And I need to check the date on next week's, because we're still okay. So no, not next, but on the 16th, we will have a really great guest, Miss Elizabeth Johnson, who she is always showing up and watching us and giving comments. And when I say y'all are not going to want to miss that episode on the 16th. She is deep.
Better be in the room.
Her story is powerful. The chance of us going over an hour will probably happen, not even intentionally, but she's just that dope of a woman. And I appreciate, even getting to know her and to be in the same space with her. So I can't wait to highlight her. And then Diana knows, and Shay, you even know how powerful her story is. And, so we'll catch you here next week. Same time, same place. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is Herspiration Happy Hour.